Thanks, Chair. Conference. Steve Turner, Unite, standing in support of Composite 5. Conference, in less than 6 months we leave the European Union, and that is a result of the outcome of the 2016 referendum, and we have to respect it. We have to recognise that while a majority of Labour voters and trade unionists may have voted to remain, many didn't. Across our nations, millions feel abandoned in a rapidly changing world and betrayed by a political elite that doesn't speak to or for them. Millions feel left behind in communities starved of investment and battered by years of austerity, often working in poverty, exploited by greedy bosses lining their own pockets from our misery, while the next generation of our young people are robbed of hope and the opportunities they so desperately desire. Conference, a perfect storm has divided our nations, and it's our job, our duty to make history and step up, to create the climate and conditions to deliver a socialist Labour government. Because, Conference, only Labour can remove the Tory red lines and encourage constructive engagement to secure access to the single market and membership of a customs union that protects our jobs and investments. Only Labour has the values to protect long fought for protections for citizens, consumers and our environment. Only Labour can secure a deal that protects the peace in Northern Ireland and ensures no restrictions between Gibraltar and Spain. Only Labour will end the austerity, build the homes we so desperately need, invest in public services, regulate the labour market and end the gross exploitation of migrant workers. Conference, a Brexit without Labour's answers to what are genuine fears and concerns will only add to deep-rooted crisis of belonging and identity in our nations, something that's already fuelling a growing and very dangerous far right. Conference, we demand a Brexit that works for the many, not the few. So when the Tories return from Brussels with no deal or a deal that fails our tests, that's our moment. That's our moment to demand they step aside, our moment to send a broken government back to the country in a general election. And Conference, if the Tory benches aren't brave enough to do that, to stand up themselves to the Johnson Moggs of this world, if they fail us, we demand they go back to the people with a vote on the deal. And Conference, that is not a second referendum. Despite what Keir may have said earlier, it's a public vote on the terms of our departure. Conference, we desperately need a better, fairer society. We need to heal the wounds of Brexit, not reopen them. And only our movement, united with a proud socialist Labour government, is capable of doing that. Support the Composite.